Oh man, it is something different. I'm Chris Drew. That's my guy Pat. It's so funny because in this whole like podcast atmosphere, Zach and I have been doing college football for like 4 years now. Obviously, Pat's with us now. And every day since Pat's kind of been in studio, we always bullshit about baseball, and Zach hates it. And he hated it so much to the point where he's letting us have our own creative outlet away from the main football show. And now we have a baseball show, Paintin Korners. I'm a Yankees fan. That's a Guardians fan. So it's going to be pretty different, but we're both baseball junkies, right, Pat?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both kind of, love the analytics, the deep analytics of the sport, love, diving into savant pages and all that, fan graphs and whatnot. So it's going to be cool. I think it's funny for me. I grew up in Jersey, so I've been surrounded by the Yankees my entire life.
I grew up in Akron.
You grew up in Akron. So it's funny. We're like almost roles reversed here, but it ends up being, good conversation. So we figured, you know what, why not put it on a couple mics and let's do it live.
No, definitely entertaining. And this will honestly, this is probably just going to be like our pre-show conversations for the Menace thing, but just documented and recorded and put out there for everybody. So, for you and our closest however many friends, welcome to a baseball podcast. To start, I guess we'll open up with some little recap things. So you guys moved on from Jimenez and had like a little bit of a gap at second base. I feel like the Guardians and the Yankees are a little bit different on that front, because when you guys move players, you guys are so comfortable promoting from within. When the Jimenez deal went through, where were you at? Did you feel like, damn, like this sucks losing him, or did you understand it? Or
I mean, the initial shockwave was, pretty significant, just because obviously coming off an ALCS berth. You figured with Jimenez signing that 7-year extension a couple of years ago that he was going to be part of that long-term, plan for the future. Obviously, winning the platinum glove, he was just so sound defensively. Honestly, made some crazy plays in the playoffs against you guys. It shocked me when I first heard about the deal. Then, as diving into kind of why the deal was made, and for
he had a bad offensive year last year. Like, we just keep it a step.
The last 2 years have been bad offensively. He was an all-star in 2022. And since that all-star year, his bat has kind of fallen off each of the last 2 years, to the point where his, he was consistently an automatic out in the playoffs this past year for us. I know obviously you saw that on the other side of it.
I mean, that's what Aaron Boone said. Aaron Boone said we wanted to pitch to Jimenez. Like, we didn't really want to pitch to Rocchio. We didn't want to pitch to Jose Ramirez. We wanted to pitch to Jimenez.
Yeah.
And we wanted to pitch to Hedges. So that's kind of what they did. I guess, like, I'm not trying to steal it from you, but you guys draft, like, here's the cool. I love recruiting also, or I did love recruiting. I'm kind of moving further away from recruiting the older I get in terms of the college football world. Baseball is really cool because, like, when you draft a prospect, you see the prospect, right? Like, you get to see them play in minor leagues. It's not just hearing about them in some spring practices or like message board stuff. And once you trade Jimenez, and it becomes clear that the Guardians are not going to add another bat via free agency or like trade for a bat, it's like, okay, it's a mad dash. And I think, honestly, like, the second base battle is, for me, on the other side, the most interesting battle that you guys have this spring.
Oh, yeah. And it's really heating up over the last few days. I think the general consensus heading into spring training was that Juan Brito was going to be the favorite to win that job. He's been a top prospect now in the Guardian system for the past few years. I've got to see him a couple times in Columbus last year live, and he's honestly one of the more exciting players on that team. I was of the belief that it was his job to lose. However, early on, Gabriel Arias, who for the last, 3 years now, he's been a guy that has a lot of Tribe fans been waiting for him to have that breakout moment. And it hasn't really gotten there yet. He's shown flashes, where he's hitting for power. He's got an electric arm. However, especially at the plate, he's just shown the inability to consistently lay off those, breaking pitches away and outside. And a lot of his work effort was questioned, not only in Cleveland, but in AAA as well. From what I've heard, is that a lot of people didn't like his attitude at times. So for him, I think it's a lot mental, more so than it is what his playing ability is. And if he can kind of shore things up, I wouldn't be surprised if he won the starting second base job.
Here's my take. I am of the belief that the Guardians will go the biggest boomer bust player at second base instead of going for the steady Freddy, because I am of the assumption that this year, whoever's the second baseman for the Guardians, the only objective is to boost their trade value, to flip them for pieces afterwards. Like
Yeah.
you and I talked yesterday morning. I love Bazana. Like I love him. That's the number 1 overall pick. I mean, I like his swing. His stance is not super aesthetically pleasing, but I was kind of on the fence about him. I looked at some of his power metrics. And you and I both looked at his fan graph grades, and we'll break what all that stuff means down in the future. But he hit that bomb, dude. What was that, yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yesterday.
No,
2 days ago.
2 days ago. It looked like it came off a metal bat. That's how, like, the bat speed is so elite, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, that's obviously one of the biggest things that the Guardians fell in love with for him out of Oregon State was that bat speed, his ability to put the ball in play and barrel up baseballs. I mean, shit, he hit 380 and 400 his last 2 years at Oregon State. A little bit, I guess a little bit of a shocking move for them to go with him at number 1. There were a lot of people that thought Charlie Condon would have been a better prospect simply because of the power metrics with him. Everyone will compare him to be the next Aaron Judge. And while that may be, I think Bazana fits the mold of your typical guard ball player a little more than Charlie Condon did. So I'm thrilled. I think, honestly, regardless of who wins the starting second base job out of camp, I still believe firmly that Bazana is going to play in the majors this year. And he's going to be an August or September call up. And if the Tribe is in a playoff position and he balls out in the majors that last month or month and change of the season, there's no doubt in my mind that he will be on the playoff roster unless whoever wins the starting, job for second out of camp puts up all-star worthy numbers.
Yeah, I mean, he'll play a little bit, but I don't think that they'd be willing to nuke the value of whoever that second baseman is just to get him ready. Like, that's like not very the Guards' way, dude. You know that they always are manipulating things for future years. It's never like fully pedal to the metal to win now.
Yes, I do think, however,
right? Like am I right?
No, you are 100% right. I mean,
okay.
Again, I'm being a cautiously optimistic fan in that sense. However, I think because of the nature of how we're seeing these top prospects move up the ranks pretty quickly, and because in the last few years, obviously last year was a little better, but the Guardians have lacked offense for the majority of the last 10 years. Last year, they made a conscious effort to change their approach to the plate, get a little more, attack heavy early on in the counts rather than, working counts and just trying to find ways to get on base. They put an emphasis on attacking your pitch early on in the zone if it's there, and don't be afraid to swing and miss. And I think if neither Arias nor Brito cuts it offensively for them in the first, 4 or 5 months of the year, I would not be shocked if Bazana, if he's tearing it up in AA and AAA this year, that he gets that call.
Wait, who are the 3 second basemen?
Well, so I've been focusing on Brito and Arias, but there's Tyler Freeman also. Okay. But he's been, a super utility for the Tribe the last few years. Obviously, he was our center fielder for a while last year before we dealt for Lane Thomas at the deadline. But he has, experience playing all around the infield, giving Hosey a day off at third. He's played short. He's played second. He's had a decent start to spring too, but personally, for me, I just view him more as like he's your bench guy. He can play everywhere. He's not going to wow you offensively nor defensively. I think he's better than Arias or Brito. So I'm of the belief that it's a 2-man battle. There, I guess you can make an argument that it is a 3-man battle to some sort, but that's just me.
On the Yankee side, dude, it's so bizarre, bro. Because like my only focus, and I hate to say this to you, you guys don't scare me at all. Like there's no fear in my heart about the Guardians. There is one team that is constantly on my mind, and it's the Dodgers. Everybody in the world is chasing the Dodgers, and I hate that the Dodgers are peaking right during Aaron Judge's prime. Yeah. Because I think for this era of baseball, Aaron Judge is the best right-handed hitter we've seen, kind of by a mile. I think he's a better hitter than Ohtani, but just for the sake of not being controversial, the best right-handed hitter of this era. It goes Albert's era, and then it is his era, depending on how you feel about Mike Trout.
Yeah, I mean, kind of Trout is that bridge between the two, honestly. So you go Pujols, then you go Trout, and now it's Judge.
So for me, I'm about beating that team across because you guys don't scare me. Honestly, the Tigers worry me a little bit more than you guys do right now.
That's fair.
And then the Orioles concern me because how young they were last year, and obviously like when young guys, if another one of those Orioles players pops, I'll be really concerned.
Yeah, I guess for me, in terms of the American League, the Orioles, yes, they scare me from an offensive standpoint, but
don't have pitching.
They still haven't addressed their biggest need. Exactly. Like they still have zero pitching. And so in terms of
my pitching got worse, their pitching got worse.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see how they compete in that division when you've got, I mean, shit, the Yankees are going to mash. Yeah. The Red Sox are going to mash too. Now that, they've added Bregman.
The Red Sox are dangerous as hell, man.
Yeah, they're very dangerous.
I think they're going to fall apart. I think their clubhouse is going to fall apart. I saw a video today, dude. For those who don't know, like I love to hate on the Red Sox, of Devers and Bregman alternating at third base while no one else had anybody alternating at their spots. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I love it, dude.
Yeah, that whole situation is crazy, and I know we've unpacked it. The two of us just sitting around. But
wait, does Boston not scare you as a Guardians fan?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm in terms of your division, I would say I would put the you guys and the Orioles ahead. Again, just simply because the Orioles bats scare me. Boston, I think, has the bats and the pitching. It's just there's so much unknown with them. You don't know where Devers and Bregman are going to fall out. You don't know if Boston's top prospects come up and are legit. Then I'm a little nervous because we've talked at length about they have 3 guys that are in
top 15,
top 15 in all of baseball, which
is and they traded 2 prospects to get Crochet.
Yeah, and neither of them was. I mean, I thought
one of their top 3, but you said your Boston fans didn't like that trade. I was like, damn, like they got to keep their top 3.
They didn't like it solely because they would have rather had someone. They would have rather gone after someone other than Crochet. I think there's a lot of unknown with Crochet. He kind of fell off after the All-Star break last year. Obviously, that was his first year as a full-time starter, and his metrics are pretty solid throughout the first half, but he kind of had a dip in production in the second half of the year. So I think there's questions about his workload and if he can manage that full-time, starting pitcher role. And how long did they sign him for? They got him for, or have they extended him yet?
No. He talked about an extension today. He's ready if the price is right.
Yeah.
It's a lot different being an ace on the White Sox when you will get excused for everything to being, you are now the ace on the Red Sox.
Yeah. And also, Boston's a tough spot to pitch in. So it's a tough park to pitch in. And honestly, you go around that division. I mean, we've gone back and forth with how much of a hitters friendly park Yankee Stadium is. Obviously, it's very one-sided.
I do not think it's hitters friendly to lefties, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's one-sided, but overall, I say that it's hitters friendly.
Okay. Is it more hitters friendly? It's probably more hitters friendly than the Guardian Stadium.
Yeah, the Guardians. Yeah, I mean, the Guardian Stadium is pretty much middle of the pack in terms of hitter friendly. It's honestly they're probably similar to one another. Are you looking up the park factors?
I'm just looking up how many home runs were hit in each.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Because like and obviously like the home run thing is a little bit silly. Oh yeah, never mind. 226 Yankees led all baseball. How fair is that?
Well,
we have Judge and Soto last year.
What I could do is
Progressive Field 186.
I'm just gonna pull up Aaron Judge on Savant right now because they do that. So he would have had expected home runs. So Judge had, what did he have? 61 last year?
No, he had 58.
Or 58 last year. Oh, this says it's because it's every ballpark. So in Cleveland, so he would have had 58 home runs if he played all 162 or all of his games in Cleveland last year. He would have had 61 in Yankee Stadium. So
yes, for probably two slap shots.
Yeah,
he's a post hitter. What do you think about the Devers position? Like Devers, so they have him on this 11-year, $300 million deal, and they signed Bregman, and it's Bregman's going to play third, and then Devers comes out. No, he's not going to play third. What would you do? Should Devers move? Or do you think they should have talked to Devers before signing and committing all that money to Bregman?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's twofold. Obviously, he's atrocious defensively. I mean, he is by far the worst defensive third baseman in all of baseball. You can look at his Fangraphs defensive run saved. He's dead last. He's dead last in fielding range. It's just he's not a good third baseman. What they should have done is they should have talked to him about it before signing Bregman. Bregman is a solid fielder. He's not,
He's not Arenado. He's not like platinum glove winner.
exactly no platinum gloves, but yeah, obviously you don't want to upset the guy you're kind of building your franchise around, Endeavors. But shit, I mean, Poppy was a DH for them and was still the catalyst of that team. Like Devers can fill that role. I just feel like they did a poor job of handling it internally before signing Bregman.
Yeah, and another one they want to play Campbell this year. Like that's the other part of it, and they might just have to be patient and wait to play him next year. Like if Devers is going to be unhappy, and he's sounding like somebody who will absolutely put himself first when you hear him talk, I would just avoid the headache. I would let Devers play third. I would move Bregman to second, and I would try to get Campbell in there whenever I could.
Yeah, I agree. And then another note with the Red Sox is that what are they going to do with their outfield? Because I think what they could have done was move Campbell to the outfield as well.
Can't do it.
But
they're saving that spot for Roman.
Yeah, I know that's the biggest thing. But yeah, the Red Sox are going to be one of those fun teams to watch throughout the season. Obviously, that AL East is going to be I think it's going to be a gauntlet this year, and people are still sleeping on Toronto, but I mean, Toronto's going to have the bats. I just
until
don't know.
They sell at the deadline.
That's the thing.
Like they're going to sell at the deadline, and it's going to be over because they cannot. Because Vladdy's not re-signing there.
No,
and
it depends on if they're
their beard policy. Like we're going full. Like Tucker or Vladdy's going to be a Yankee.
It's not going to be Tucker.
You think so?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's
not going to be Tucker. Why not?
Bro, if you're the Cubs, like it's just not this year. I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I was going to say free agency, dog. I
yeah. I thought you meant at the deadline.
I know Hal is steaming about Juan Soto.
Yeah,
and all that money falls off the books next year.
Yeah. Well, shit, you already got the future Juan Soto in Dominguez.
Yeah, dude, he's playing defense like it.
Exactly.
Did you see today, dude?
Dude, I saw another one on the timeline, man. That's the second one now he's had, right?
That's the third one.
That's the third one?
Yeah, bro. Plus, like in the game after they clinched, he was hungover and let a fly ball drop. He had the blunder last year in the whatever Field of Dreams game that the kids were at, where he caught a fly ball and acted like it was a third out, but someone tagged from third and scored the game-winning run. Like he's been a mess. And like Yankees fans, their solution is to move Dominguez to center.
I've been seeing that too, and I want your thoughts on that because I don't know. To me, your best defender has to play center field your best defender in the outfield has to play center. And what has Dominguez shown that he can hold down center field?
They're saying that's his natural position is center field, and that center, not across baseball, but center at Yankee Stadium, they say is easier than left. My thing is, boy, if you can't catch a damn fly ball in left, I don't care. I don't care what your comfortable position is.
I mean, I get it from the fact that there's more room to cover in left field.
No, there's
at
left
Yankee
room.
Stadium than center field. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking in terms of, all right, if you like cutting off a ball in left center is different than cutting off a ball in right center.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
So it's like I get that as a left fielder, you have less room for error, whereas center field, you can kind of shade that way towards left already because you don't have to worry about getting beat in right field or in right center rather. At least that's how I've always viewed it.
He's so bad, but my thing is like I don't care as long as you just hit better than Verdugo.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing because
like I don't care. Like I don't need the exceptional plays from you. Hell, like I'll take the most errors in all of baseball at left field, but give me a 115 WRC plus. And when I know we're gonna have like a lot of newer baseball fans. When I say like 115 WRC plus, the league average is 100. So that's 15% better than league average. And I'll keep reminding people of that just because I think that's my favorite metric to go visit. But if you hit 15% better than league average, I'll live with the errors. But go mash. Like, go do it. Go do it. Like I don't left fielders, they always say are the worst defenders on the field.
Yeah. And honestly, as you know, for me, as long as the rest of your outfield is fine, like Judge is a solid defender, right?
Yeah, no, Judge is probably the best defensive right fielder in baseball.
Yeah.
Or he was until Tatis moved out there.
Okay, true that.
And then Bellinger's good in center.
Yeah, Bellinger's solid. I mean, because you have those two, you don't have to worry about, errors from either of them, I feel like you can live with whatever Dominguez gives you. I mean, unless he's absolutely costing you games at that point, I feel like he'll win you more games with his bat than he's going to cost you by messing up in the field.
On the Yankee side, dude, we have a debacle at third base, dude. Like,
yeah,
really in hell. Like, I know you're excited about the future outlook of your second base position. I am dreading my third base spot. So,
yeah, that's the position group that I feel like I'm following with you guys the most right now, just because I'm so perplexed at what is going to happen there.
So we're out of loop, man. They said Hal went to cash and said, look, the cap is 307, dude. If you can't put together a championship roster for 307, that's on you. And we are at the 307 mark. Obviously, like, they're trying to trade Marcus Stroman, and that's kind of been a mess. But
yeah,
I mean, shit, dude. Like, it's Oswaldo Cabrera, who I like. He shouldn't be playing every day. He's supposed to be a super utility guy.
Yeah.
It's DJ LeMahieu. And that's disgusting.
Yeah. DJ's washed, man.
Dude, so washed. You and I both watched one of his swings. Like, holy smokes.
It just looks so slow now. And it wasn't always like that. I mean, I used to love, he honestly, when he came over, he had one of the nicest, like, just inside out kind of swings. Just reminded me a lot of like the way Jeter used to hit the baseball.
Yeah,
just,
man.
Comfortable going the opposite way.
No, he can put it together, but he looks like a corpse, man. And they're hiding him. Like, so far in spring, he has not played.
I mean, I still can't get over the fact that he had a 528 OPS last year.
Yeah. What was his WRC plus? Or what's his OPS plus?
His OPS plus? Sorry, I'm on Savant right now. Dude, well, first of all, it's just hilarious. He had a -13 run value hitting last year. And he had, first of all, one of my favorite is my xWOBA is one of my favorite stats. Yeah. Expected weighted on base average. He had a 299 expected WOBA last year. That is, to be under 300 in that category is beyond awful.
Yeah, we're gonna play you every day in Yankee Stadium. Like, it's disgusting, and like, I mean, they can't play him, and I'm bummed because, like, I think George Lombard Jr. could play third at some point for the Yankees, but he's just too young. He's 19. I mean, he just made it to A+ ball. So it's like he's not even close to ready. They're trying to get him so many at-bats, but he's going to be like 2 years away. You need one right now because it is like Aaron Judge's prime.
Yeah. And LeMahieu had a 51 OPS plus last year, which is somehow worse than Jimenez, which I thought Jimenez was bad. But
dude, are you kidding me? DJ LeMahieu was a corpse last year out there.
Crazy.
He's literally god-awful. So, yeah, I mean – it's a mess. They're going to have to make a deal for somebody. I just don't know who it's going to be. Arenado wants to be a Yankee so bad. He made the 3-hour trip just to strike out twice.
Yeah. Speaking of the guy who struck him out, I know you're high on him, but talk to me about Will Warren, dude.
Dude, Will Warren is Michael King from the South, dude. He's got like a thick Southern accent, like from Louisiana. And so he throws, honestly, I think his sweeper, which is like that long slider, is in the top 5 percentile in all minor league baseball. Like, that's how much movement he gets on it. He started throwing this new changeup, which is disgusting. He's sitting at like 95. Like, Will Warren, I don't know if he's going to be a rotation guy this year, but he should be. Like, he's got some really, really good stuff. And his emergence and the way he's looked, like, to me, if you are cash, you look at that and you're like, if I can move a pitcher for a third baseman because I have this kid with 6 years of control, like, Will Warren has been electric. In his 2 outings this spring, only giving up 1 hit, and I think he's got like 8 Ks. Like, he's been so ridiculously dialed in, swinging, miss stuff, freezing guys. And, bro, he hasn't thrown a curveball in years.
Interesting.
He started throwing it in the spring, and it's a big looping curveball, only throws it to lefties. One of the concerns with him was he struggled against lefties, and like at Yankee Stadium, you don't want to struggle against lefties, and that's been his put out pitch for him. So I think they have like a Michael King and like Matt Blake, who was the pitching coach for you guys. He's just bag work.
Godsend, dude. He's a godsend.
Beautiful, dude. I'm a big Will Warren guy. That's my breakout player for this year.
He's throwing that fork change, right? That
kick change
or kick change. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking into that after you were talking about it the other day. I saw Clay Holmes did an interview about how he's been toying with that, and his looked pretty nasty. I saw a couple of his highlights on pitching.
Is that a Matt Blake thing?
Ah,
I'll have to research. I just the reason I said that is because like you see Clay Holmes throwing it, and obviously he was with New York for a while.
yeah. I mean, honestly, during like Blake's tenure with Cleveland, we didn't really have a guy with a dynamic changeup. I mean, like Kluber was more cutter and two seam, or cutter sinker with a nasty slider, nasty curveball. Bauer was strictly, fastball curveball or fastball slider. Clevenger fastball slider. Yeah. It was like none of our starters in the Matt Blake era were had a nasty changeup like that. And I think this kick change has become kind of popular in recent years. That I think
Hader. I know Hader made it really popular.
Yes. Obviously Hader's got some of the nastiest stuff in the game. So it was cool watching Clay Holmes talk about it. Fuck, I wish I had
a kick change has, this is a small wall. A kick change has a spike in it. Mm-hmm. And like the pronating change, which is really popular too, does not have a spike in it. It's got the circle and then you let it go that way. I wish I had a real baseball to do it. So the kick change, I mean, Weaver has a disgusting changeup. Like that's kind of what brought his career back.
Yeah. Except against John Kenzie Noel.
Yeah, didn't he put away everybody else though?
I know he did. I honestly was shocked that Noel hit that because he was shutting down everyone with that changeup.
I mean, he used that. I mean, the series before, I think that Aaron Boone like fell in love with like getting him out there because he had the 6-out save against the Royals.
Yeah,
where he mowed down Bobby Witt, and that's my guy. Like I fucking love Bobby Witt. Hey, I do want to. I was thinking about this on the way to my house. Who's your favorite player who never played for your team?
All time or currently?
All time. Or you can do both.
Well, I don't know. It goes in like eras for me. Like growing up, my favorite pitcher was Tim Lincecum. I had the long hair growing up too, and as a pitcher, I tried to mimic his like that weird delivery that he had.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
With the fucking herky jerky kind of leg kick. But Tim Lincecum was probably my favorite growing up. I was honestly for the past few years, I've loved watching Whit Merrifield for Kansas City, and now where was he last? I think Philly, maybe? No, where the hell was Whit? I forget where he was. But anyway, it was like every year at the trade deadline, Whit Merrifield was a target for the Guardians or Indians to trade for, and they never did. And I kept wanting them to pull the trigger because I thought he'd be a perfect fit for us. But Whit Merrifield's up there for me. Tim Lincecum was probably the all-time for me, though, especially growing up, dude. He was my idol.
Dude, I love Barry Zito also. Shout out my guy, Ben.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Dude, for me, dude, my crazy hot take, then I'll answer the question. My crazy hot take is that like I think Barry Zito's curveball was better than Kershaw's.
Ooh, I mean, shit. I honestly, probably two of the best in terms of 1990 plus, like modern era. I think you can make a very good argument that those are the top two.
Yeah, that's my that's my go-to. And bro, like this question's so hard for me because everybody makes a stop in New York.
That's true. All right. I guess I'll allow guys that played maybe like a half season or even a full season.
I won't cheat it, bro. I love Manny Machado. I love Manny Machado.
Really? See, I can't stand Machado.
I love Manny, bro.
Okay.
Manny is so tough, dude. I wanted him to be a Yankee so bad.
Yeah. He's honestly one of my least favorite players of the last few years.
Is he really?
Part of it is as a fan, probably him and Max Kepler are the two players that owned Trevor Bauer more than anyone in baseball. I mean, Machado owned him, and so it was always a fucking pain in the ass to face him. And he also, I don't know, he had that reputation for a bit of being like a dirty player.
Yeah, I loved it, bro, because he played like an early 2000s player.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like go spikes up, like throw stuff in the dugout. Like that's the man, dude. I loved my favorite play in baseball is like that third base going into foul territory.
Yep. And he had a fucking hose, dude.
A hose, dude. I'm a big Manny guy.
I love watching. I will say, like, anytime a highlight reel of just his like defense
Defense.
comes on my timeline, I'll watch that shit on repeat, dude. It's so aesthetically pleasing to just watch
Dude,
him.
Baseball Tonight, bro. Him and Dalton Simmons would just go back and forth every single week for Web Gems, dude.
And Dalton Simmons, dude, another fucking cannon.
Dude, I love him too, but I wasn't gonna pick anybody from Atlanta because I root for them too. Dude, I'm sure you didn't see this. You know, Tim Anderson has not pulled a fly ball since he got punched by Jose. You know
dude, he knocked him out of baseball.
Yeah, bro. I'm saying, did you know that he had not pulled a fly ball?
I did not know that, but that's so fucking hilarious.
He pulled one today for a home run. The first
No way.
The first one since Jose put the beats on him.
No way. Wait, where is he now?
He's you get two guesses.
I definitely saw that. It's no, he was with Miami. Is he on the Angels?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's what I thought.
Boom,
damn,
dude. Won a batting title and got punched out of baseball, dude.
Yeah, dude. He literally straight shot a CTE right to the dome.
Dude, I have this theory, bro, that concussions might be the worst thing of like that a baseball player can go through because I think it takes your reaction time down a tick, bro. I'm convinced of that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The aspect of timing and hand-eye coordination that goes into baseball isn't like football. I mean, sure, it's again totally different game, but like you need to be so pinpoint with your accuracy and coordination and your timing that like, that doesn't surprise me at all. That probably concussion is the worst injury, especially for a hitter.
Yeah, bro. You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
Anthony Rizzo was on pace to hit 37 home runs as a Yankee at age 32. He got the concussion, and then he returned to baseball. 12 home runs, then 8 home runs. Everything fell off a cliff. All the slugging as soon as he got the concussion. Anthony Rizzo's 2022 season will be forgotten. Like, he was having the best power season of his career.
Yeah.
Like, when people think about Rizzo and the Yankees, they think, oh, the washed version. But no. In 2022, he hit 32 home runs. His OPS was 817. OPS plus was 130, so 30% better than average.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was
raking, dude.
Raking. Got back. Nothing was the same.
Bro, I'm going to throw this up here. Shout out our guy, Ben. Kind of like Bautista.
Dude.
I just looked it up. Bautista in 2015. So he had that stretch from 2010 to 2015. He hit 54, 43, 27, 28, 35, 40 home runs. He got knocked by Odor in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he hit 22 home runs, 23 home runs in 2017, and then 13 in 2018, his last season in the bigs, dude.
I'm telling you, man, that concussion, because it's like you don't hit the right part of the ball, your vision's a little off. I mean, I know Clint Frazier never got to his peak, but his demise started when he started getting the concussions.
Yeah, dude. I'm just looking. I'm totally wired into this Bautista. He had his OPS plus never dropped below 132 from 2010 to 2015. It was 118 in 2016. It dropped to 79. He had a 79 OPS plus. That's with 23 home runs. A 79 OPS plus in 2017.
21% worse than league average.
Dude, fucking atrocious. I mean, he hit part of it was because he hit 203 that year.
Yeah, but still, like, and he was just swinging out of his shoes every time.
Yeah.
With the ball. And
then a 102 OPS pluses last year, again hitting 203 and only 13 homers that year in 122 games. That's wild.
I'm just saying, brother, something behind that concussion theory. I'm a firm believer.
Yeah, that's honestly, I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into who else got fucking popped. Yasiel Puig was in that. I don't know if he got popped though, but he was out soon after that brawl because that brawl was right the day that he got traded to the Indians, and then that was his last year in the bigs.
And he's still concussed. He still has a concussion.
Yeah. Damn. What a fucking. I can't believe it. Yasiel Puig is one of those guys that, like, God, I wish I could have watched him for another 5 years. He was only in the league for 6 years, dude.
Yeah, dude, it was absurd. I'll never forget his first year. It was like a big debate. Should he make the All-Star game or should Freddie Freeman? Because there was one spot left for the fan voting. Which obviously we see those two careers when
yeah,
where they headed.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Before we got out of here, because I feel like shit. Who are
Yeah.
your early season or early spring winners for the Guardians?
Right now, I've been a fan of his the last few years, and honestly, I was a big fan of his over Rocchio to win the shortstop job last year. Obviously, Rocchio ran away with it, and obviously he was the biggest surprise for Cleveland in terms of how he finished the year. I mean, that postseason run, especially against you guys. I mean, Aaron Boone said they didn't even want to pitch to Rocchio by the end of
We didn't
it.
want to pitch to him. We wanted to pitch around him if it meant getting the hedges. Like we didn't want to face Jose. We didn't want Rocchio to kill us because Rocchio, he hit that bomb that I thought the wheels were gonna fall off of Rodon.
Yeah, he did. That was
upper
huge.
deck shot. And I was like, ooh wee.
So anyway, Rocchio's got that shortstop position. I think Arias has been a winner so far for Cleveland. I think he's probably has the slight edge over Brito to win the second base job as of now. He hit a tank off of Zach Gallen a couple days ago. I was showing you this. He tweaked his stance a little bit. He's a little more upright. And I think it's helping him generate some more power. As long as he stays, consistent in terms of, trying not to fall for that slider, away in the other batter's box, because that's been his fucking, Achilles heel as of late. But I think he's a winner so far. Obviously, Bazana hitting the tank, getting that kind of out of the way, I guess, because there's so much pressure on him being the #1 overall pick, and this is his first spring training. Everyone wants him to wow.
Does he have opposite field power?
I think he does. We haven't seen it too much. Obviously, he struggled last year once he got into the Cleveland system. Ball.
Yeah.
But from stuff that I've read, he can generate some good power the other way. I think he's more so a pull side guy, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to kind of like when Jose Ramirez came up, he was a big doubles guy and would consistently use the other side of the field. It was then when he tapped into his power when he started just pulling shit. So I think you'll see a similar kind of approach from Bazana early on. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him.
Yeah, I'd like to see like the 2-strike approach to be slap everything the other way.
Yeah.
I've seen that with Dominguez a lot this spring so far.
Yeah, he hit I saw, what was it, like 100-mile-an-hour base hit? I think it was today against
off Wheeler.
Yeah, dude, going the opposite way. So
I believe that was with 2 strikes, just slapping the other way. I mean, he's gotten a hit, I believe, in every game he's played in, which is good.
To slap it 100 miles an hour the other way off of a guy like Wheeler is no joke too.
No, Dominguez has huge power, dude, and it's gonna play in Yankee Stadium. Like it's really gonna play there.
Yeah. Aside from his defensive woes so far, is he your pick as the spring winner so far for New York? Just he's under the plate.
I mean, at the plate, yeah, he's a spring winner. My overall spring winner is Will Warren. I think Will Warren's
true.
Well, it looked fabulous.
Yeah.
But no,
I got to shout out Tristan McKenzie too. Although I think he had, I got to watch because we've been going live as as the Guardians game is going on. But
did he get roughed up today?
What was that?
Did he get roughed up today?
So he didn't start. He came in relief for Logan. Logan Allen got the start today. But I think he got touched up for a couple runs against the White Sox today. Oh, what's funny? James Karinchak is coming in to face the Guardians right now.
Oh, Karinchak.
Oh yeah, the greatest strikeout of Jose Altuve.
That over the top delivery, that shoulder is botched. I can feel it.
Yeah, dude, his over the top. But anyway, dude, I was psyched to see McKenzie hitting 95 consistently on the gun in his first start. Granted, it was only 2 innings, but his velo took such a hit last year that everyone was concerned. And he's an option for us to be that 5th starter this year. And so with him being with his fastball looking like it's got some life again, that was going to be one of my biggest things I wanted to look forward to today. I haven't watched his highlights yet, so we'll see if that is still the case against the White Sox today, but we'll see.
I'm probably gonna turn that game on. Before we get out of here, dude, the Reds, obviously, like we are, primarily an Ohio podcast. The Reds with Terry and them. Are you upset by that at all?
I was not. If we didn't have the success we did with Stephen Vogt in year 1, I think I would have been a little more upset. But because we had that, kind of immediate success, we had the.
I mean, you guys were in the ALCS.
There's nothing really to complain about with Stephen Vogt's first year. It's a little upsetting to see him, he hung it up and said that it was, for health reasons and to be with family. And then for him to turn around a year later and take a job, that part kind of stung a little bit. But overall, First of all, I'm super high on the Reds this year. I think Tito is the perfect manager for them because they're such a young team with so many young superstars in the making. I think the Reds could surprise a lot of people in a division that for the last few years has been pretty pretty much the weakest in all of baseball, you could say.
Yeah, no, for real.
So I think I'm a huge fan of their rotation heading into this year. I think Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, and Nick Lodolo are all stars in the making if they can stay healthy.
Their win total is 78.5.
That's a good line considering they're young and a lot of these guys have struggled to stay healthy. I would like the over on that. I think they're an 80-win team for sure.
80-win team, and then Ellie's a dark horse if you can even call him that for MVP. You just got to cut down the strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Spencer Steer, dude, and Matt McClain. I think both those guys can fucking rake too.
No, they've got players, but Pat, that's all I got today. Let's get up out of here, and then we'll be back probably hopefully sooner rather than later. I mean, I could do this all day, every day. So
absolutely, dude. No, this is gonna be a fun little channel we got growing. So appreciate shit. We've got almost 500 people in here. Primarily on Twitter. If you can retweet this, give us a like on YouTube, and make sure to follow this page, Paintin Korners on YouTube, so we can get those subscribers up and get this channel booming.
Yeah, well, then we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris.
Menace out.
Real Menace out.